but I'm not ripping the whole sleeve out and starting again because I hated picking up those sleeves. Because what's this ladder situ? This is not going to plan. Hey everyone, it's Hannah and welcome back to the Corner of Craft. I hope that you're well. Last year in 2024, May of 2024, I cast on a field day cardigan thinking that I would get it finished very quickly. I foolishly thought that because it's a double knit project as opposed to a 4-ply sock weight project, I would finish it much quicker. This video is a vlog of me finishing said project because I worked on it for a very long time. Now, to fill in the gap a little bit, I didn't work on it continuously throughout all of that time period. I had a baby in July of last year, went through quite a bit of a mental health issue, and thought that where I was on the project was far more complicated than it was. So I ignored it for many a month until I had the brain space to pick it back up again. And within 10 minutes, I found where I was in the pattern and I worked out what I needed to do. It was not complicated. So if you like this kind of video and you would like to see more, please feel free to subscribe. I'm a small business owner, so there are also some studio vlogs of me dyeing yarn, as well as a monthly podcast where I talk about all of the things that I have been working on knitting crochet wise. I also want to do more knitting vlogs like this, so if you enjoy this style of video, please let me know. Anyway, let's go back to Hannah from 2 months ago. This bad boy. This is my field day cardigan. This I cast on in May 2024 and I've talked about it way too much in podcasts. Here is where I am. This is terrible lighting. I should have got my ring light out. I'm on the bottom hem of a cardigan. Now it's really difficult to see the yarn just because it's not great lighting. Oh, there we go. That's not bad. So this is 2 yarns. Skein and Stitch plush sock in the Wyrdstone colourway, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And then Creative Anarchy yarns on her Willow base, 72% kid mohair, 28% silk, in Beware of Crimson Peak. I'm about to cake these two up to take with me. I have to do an Italian cast off, high miso, and I need to knit the sleeves. I'm going to get these done before my next podcast. Let's go. Let's cake up this yarn. I have to angle myself very carefully in this room because everywhere there is yarn you can't see because it's Advent yarn. And I don't know how I've got my ponytail to be so fun and flicky, but it's having a good time. Anyway, I have some news about my cardigan. So I'm onto the sleeve. It was exciting. I picked up the stitches. The pattern calls for a 4.5mm hook and needle, sorry. And for some reason I'm using a 4mm needle. I don't know, but I have gauge, row gauge at least. So I must have gauge. I always swatch, so that must be the gauge. I don't know. Maybe this is why it's taking so long. Anyway, I've started doing the decreases. I was watching the pickle earlier and I thought, I could just knit a few rounds on this. She's quite entertained, but on her own, that's fine. Let me just check out my decreases because this is a new technique. And I watched the tutorial once. So it's knit 2 together left. There was a video tutorial. I watched it once and thought this is fine. Oh, hi, Miso. Not fine. It was not fine. I have decreased 0 stitches on one side. Now, I meant to have done 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 4, well, 5 technically on one side and 0 on the other side. So what I'm going to do now is just drop down these stitches and decrease. It might cause some loopy yarn issues, but I'm not ripping the whole sleeve out and starting again because I hated picking up those sleeves. This is not going to plan. What row is it? It's this weird little twisty one. So it's this one and this one. Right, I've put a stitch marker in the 2 stitches that I need to do. I'm going to grab a crochet hook of a size. This is, I think I might need a smaller one. I'll go for a 3. Let's drop these down. I should do this while sitting really, but that's fine. This is going to cause some real loopy yarn issues and not be a good time. If it looks too terrible, I'll just rip the sleeves out. I won't. I'll just rip back to the row before the decrease row and then it will be fine. Where are my tiny scissors? This mohair is a bit snaggy. This might end up looking terrible. I think the stitches might be too loopy. I think I'm going to be better off picking the stitches, like taking the sleeve out. I think this might be a terrible move. I'm just going to rip the sleeve out, aren't I? Alright, you tell you what, I'm going to do this anyway. And if I have to rip the sleeve out, that's fine. But I'm going to try this first. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And then we'll call it experience. Because what's this ladder situ? This isn't working. I'm going to have to take it out and knit all this back again. But I can't do that right now because I have quite a lot of yarn to twist. That is something that I'm really struggling with, is that. That's one of the reasons I'm really desperate to have this done, because I have very little knitting time. This doesn't go in that, that's a different hook completely. I have very little knitting time, and so I thought having 2 weeks, basically 2 weeks of a holiday, that I'd be able to get loads and loads of knitting done and would be able to get these 2 projects finally done after them being on the needles for so long. But no, and I can't even fix that, so I'm just going to have to rip the sleeves out, which then adds extra time. I just don't have as much knitting time as I want. I didn't have knitting time before I had a baby, and now I've got even less. And I'm fooling myself into thinking I'm going to be able to finish things, and I just can't. So I'm going to twist yarn and just forget about the jumper for a minute, because I won't lie, I could cry. I'm so frustrated. I'm so ready for this cardigan to be done. I'm sick of working on it. I love how it looks. It's going to be amazing on. I'm going to wear it loads. I know I am. I'm just so sick of working on it because it's been on the needles for just too long. I get like this with my whips. They're on the needles for too long, and then I could burn it for all I care because I'm just so fed up with working on it. I'm going to go twist yarn, which is the last thing I want to do right now. First things first, let's dress the elephant in the room. I'm in my pajamas. I went to the gym this afternoon and I came back and I had a shower and I just thought, may as well just put my pajamas on. So that is what I did. I have recovered after Monday's meltdown. I was feeling very stressed. It was a very It felt like a very high pressure day, and I don't know why. Hi, Miso. It felt like a very high pressure day, and I don't think it needed to be, but it was like one of my first days back at work after being off for so long, and the realization of how much I needed to do just kind of got on top of me a little bit, and I just kind of had quite the meltdown. Tuesday, I spent the whole day twisting mini skeins. It was great. It was not great. Wednesday, yesterday, I dyed up 2 oven loads of yarn in one day, which I've never ever done before. My back and shoulders were sore, but I have fully dyed up one of the weekly advent days. Great, got me on top of that. And then today I've dyed up 1 oven load, which is half of another day of weekly advents. So we're catching up. I'm doing all right. I'm not stressed anymore. That's not what you'll hear about. The cardigan. I have edited together the shawl video, and I don't quite know how I'm going to seamlessly transition to the cardigan video. I might have to just film a separate intro for it, which I'm sure I've already done because I'm not doing it right now. The fact that I discovered I hadn't been doing the decreases right on the sleeve on Monday was a bad day for me to discover it on, because I was already stressed and I was already high pressure, and then to discover that, I honestly felt like crying, which sounds really dramatic and over the top, but on top of everything else, it was just a bit too much. Turns out really easy. I didn't want to pick up the stitches again, so guess what? I didn't. I just used a thinner needle and I picked up the stitches 2 rounds before the first decrease, I think. I used a smaller needle to pick up the stitches to make it easier, and then I switched it to the bigger one, and I just ripped it out, frogged it out, knit it back, and we've knit it back and then some. I need to do 19 decreases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. About to do my 12th. I've put a little progress keeper for every single stitch, every single decrease. I've got my Book of Spells one from my advent, this one that I've made, cheese one from last year's advent, a few yarnistry ones, and then just a few these little ones that everyone's accumulated somehow. And yeah, we're rolling with it. I'm still just on my first sleeve. As you can tell, I've not had heaps of time to sit and knit because I've been stressing 1, 2, 3, 4 about work. So I am knitting now. Hello, welcome to my chaos living room. I have finished the field day cardigan. I have one end that I need to weave in that I'd missed. Maybe 2. I might have woven that one in though. Oh good, the alarm's gone off. Apologies, I was meant to apologise for that. Anyway, I'm about to block it now. Jess, Skein and Stitch, said to me that some of the colour might come out from the black just because it is such a saturated colour. I'm absolutely fine with that. I knew it was a possibility. I've made the sleeves the perfect length, which may have been an error. This is what it looks like before blocking. It's a little bit cropped, and it's not as oversized as the original design, potentially partly because I used the wrong needle size, but I also think this does work as a cardigan, and it will do up like this. Now, I did knit for the size that I was before I got pregnant, really optimistically thinking that I would get down to that weight again. I was pregnant at the time when I cast it on, so that was naive of me. I accept. I have not got back down to my pre-pregnancy weight. I'm not terribly far off. It's just my body's changed. It does, but it's a cardigan. I don't often wear cardigans buttoned up anyway. So I'm about to go and block this. I use soak. I like the fig smell. I think it's great. And yeah, I'm about to go and block it. I'm going to not stretch the sleeves. So try to keep them around the same length. And maybe just try and stretch the body out a little bit. It's basically, I'm just trying to make it settle. I've got this end that I still need to weave in that I forgot about, but pretty much all the other ones are done. And then I've just got to sew my buttons on, and then we can tick that box. Let's see how much of this dye comes out of this cardigan. I may have filled this up a bit too much. I usually, when I block things, put the bucket in the sink, so if it does overflow, it doesn't matter, but I wanted to film it, so I haven't done that. Right, squish it in. Now, the yarn is superwash, the merino base, but the mohair is not, so I don't want to move it too much. You know what, there's barely any dye coming out of this. There's a little bit, but not much at all. Right, I'm just going to leave this for a bit. I maybe should have put more water in. I think I may have put too much soak in and it frothed up a little bit. And I thought it was more full than it is. Hang on. I put a little bit more water in, and I'm just going to let that sit for 10 minutes or so. Get nice and wet, and then I'll go and spin it in my spin dryer to get most of the water out, and then I'll lay it out flat. And this is the completed piece. I am so excited. I'm so happy with it. I love it so much. I should have knit the sleeves a tiny bit shorter, but at the same time, they fit me very well. I made sure not to stretch them out when I blocked them. I blocked the length a little bit longer. I thought I'd managed to keep the cats out of up here, but I came up here yesterday. There was a big loop out the back. Not out the back, but you know when you catch a loop and it pulls? One of the cats must have got her claw stuck in it, and yeah. So I had to take some time yesterday morning, just like picking it back, not picking it back, but like pulling the stitches to get the loop back in. And I think it looks okay. I think it looks fine. Then just now, I've just sewn the buttons on. I think they look really good. I love how they look. I don't think I'll be buttoning this up too much. As I've mentioned, I've knit the size for the size that I was before I got pregnant, and foolishly thought that I would get back to my pre-pregnancy weight. Now that hasn't happened, and ultimately that's fine, but I don't know, it's just a bit more fitted than the pattern is intended, but it does also look okay, so maybe I could wear it done up. I love this cardigan so much. I'm so glad I stuck with it. Some of you told me to rip it out when I said I wasn't sure if I was going to rip it out or not, and so many of you said rip it out, you're not working on it, and I understand why you said rip it out, you're not working on it, but ultimately I'm glad that I ignored you and that I said with love and respect. So yes, this is my finished field day cardigan. It is complete. My 2 whips that I've had on the needles since 2024 are now finished. I can breathe a sigh of relief. I mean, I did just find out one of my, or I think it might be my oldest whip. Some of you will remember this, me casting this on. It was all the rage on knitting podcasts 10 years ago. So my Cozy Memories blanket, I am very much not far through it. I made the squares far too small, and my tension has changed as I've got more confident and have knit more. Look how tightly knit this square is. It's wild how tight this square is if I compare it to one of the later ones that I've done. But maybe I do need to pick this back up again and do a little bit of work on a Cozy Memories blanket and see, because let's have a granny square blanket to work on. I've got so many blankets on the go. Anyway, maybe I'll start putting a few squares a week on this in all my free time. Anyone else got a Cozy Memories blanket that they cast on and then they're just ignoring? Or is that just me? Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really, really helps me out and I really do appreciate it. Do you have any languishing whips that you would like to get finished? Hopefully I've spurred you on a little bit. And would you like to see more knitting vlogs from me? Because I quite enjoy doing them. They might not be a vlog of the full project because, as you may have gleaned from this video, I take a really long time to finish projects. I'm not a slow knitter. The act of knitting itself is not slow. I just take a long time to finish things. If you like knitting vlogs, I've started watching a few knitting vlogs and quite enjoy them. So I think I want to start implementing them into my channel a little bit more. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I post a new video here every single Friday. And if once a week is not enough, I do also have a Patreon where you can get a bonus video every single week. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your encouragement with the field day cardigan. I truly do appreciate it. And yeah, I think this is going to get a lot of wear. I wear a lot of black t-shirts, and you know what? This is black with a little bit of pizzazz, and I think it's going to get a lot of wear. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being amazing, and I will see you all very soon in my next video. Bye.